Hi everyone, this is Sheila Joe and welcome to my channel. Please make sure you hit that like button, share and subscribe, and remember that all things said on my channel is alleged and in my opinion. Today I happened to scroll on Instagram and I found Whitfield's page, who is the owner of Dear Future Wifey podcast, and I had no idea him and Tony Gaskins may have had or still has like a little beef or something going on. Anyway, Tony Gaskins, I guess, gave his opinion on his podcast, on the Dear Future Wifey podcast, stating that it should be called Apologizing to Ex-Wife podcast. I thought that was funny. However, Whitfield did not take it lightly. He did respond, and this is the clip that I ran upon when I was scrolling on Instagram. And I found something else quite interesting about this clip, is that I had no idea Tony Gaskin thought that women who are so-called, let's say, anointed are the ones that should speak publicly. I don't really know how to take that. I'm a huge fan of Tony Gaskin. I've watched him for many years, especially back in the day when I had a really long commute. I remember I would turn on his channel and just listen while I'm driving, things like that. But I had no idea he kind of had that type of feeling, or that opinion. So I just want to get you guys' opinion on it. I'm going to go ahead and play the clip, and you guys leave comments in the comment section. And like I said, please hit that like button, share, and subscribe. All right, I'm out. Have a good evening, everyone.
Because someone I truly respect and value and honor had something to say negative about me in the video. Listen to what Tony Gaskins had to say about your boy.
And the guy who is giving everybody in this type of sin a platform, Lateris, I believe he is a wolf in sheep's clothing with that Wifey podcast, and he Dear Wifey, because to my understanding, he cheated on his wife and divorced her or something like that.
So how did the world know about my indiscretions, Tony? Because I shared it as a cautionary tale to help prevent others from making that same mistake. Yeah, and I've been divorced since 2015.
And so to be married and then go through a divorce and then do a podcast called Dear Future Wifey, it's like it needs to be Dear Ex-Wife, I'm sorry. And every podcast, every episode needs to be about apologizing to your ex-wife.
Now, that's interesting. Me and my ex have been cool for about 8 years now. Been divorced for about 9. Been divorced since 2015. Matter of fact, we're so cool that she represented me in closing on my house last year for my future wifey. Matter of fact, she's the one who gave me permission to talk about the adulterous affairs that I had when I launched the podcast in 2020. And I've been divorced, 5 years at that point? And she commended me for being transparent and taking full accountability for my actions. Yeah, I always lead and say that I don't blame her for my affairs, that I cheated because I had a lack of integrity.
But to me, that's, and y'all know these terms and all of this stuff better than me, but to me, that's gaslighting. I feel like that's social abuse.
So you're saying me admitting my mistakes is gaslighting? Yeah, you're right. You don't know what that word means. So stop using words outside of your vocabulary. Gaslighting is a type of psychological abuse that involves making the victim question their own reality, thoughts, and emotions. Yeah, it's funny how you say that I'm gaslighting when your last name starts with the word gas. Ken, folk.
But one of the things that podcast, that the guy, which me personally, I can't trust a man with a woman name. Lateris, that sounds like a woman name to me. But the fact that I'm out here and I'm a loud voice in this space, and he never once reached out to me to come on his podcast. And people have said they have suggested my name, and that he wrote them back and said, I would love to have him and his wife on the podcast, which is a no-go because everybody knows my wife doesn't have a desire to sit on a couch and talk, or to be a speaker, or to be a life coach. And as you see, that is of God, because for one, the Bible talks to us about these things. And my wife, she's more biblical in the sense of the part of the Bible where it says that it's circumstances in the Bible where a woman is called to speak. But outside of that, in certain regions of where the word was being taught, not every woman was called to speak. Not every woman was authorized to speak.
Of course, I asked for you and your wife to come on the podcast. I mean, she's the recipient of this amazing relationship advice that you give. Why wouldn't I want her to be on the podcast to share y'all's love journey? I believe people could be healed and touched and set free from hearing this amazing love that you guys share. As a matter of fact, I encourage all my married guests to bring their spouses on the podcast. It creates a more balanced interview. But now, if your wife is shy and doesn't like being in front of the camera, I totally understand that. Now, it's new to me that you didn't believe that a woman should speak publicly unless she's been anointed to do so. We're not talking about preaching a sermon. We're talking about literally doing an interview about your relationship. But again, that's your household. It ain't got nothing to do with me.
A few moments later.
The company was trying to produce a show. I can't even remember what it was about. It could have been a matchmaking show or something, me and my wife. Or it could have been another show where it was just me. But me and my wife had a matchmaking show in the works. And they said she stole the show. She was way better on camera than me.
Something ain't adding up here. Y'all were about to have a whole matchmaking show years ago, but asking the two of y'all to come on Dear Future Wifey is a no-go? Make that make sense. Bro, I ain't got nothing but love for you. Real talk. And there's always a seat for you on the yellow couch. I invite you to come on Dear Future Wifey.